Live from our studios at One Television Plaza, this is your Mid-Ohio Valley Morning Brief.
Good morning, Mid-Ohio Valley, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Brief. I'm Emma Grace Myers.
And I'm Henry Grof. Start of a new week. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the weekend. I mean, yesterday was quite soggy.
Yeah, but you know, it washed all of the salt off my car.
Yeah, it certainly did.
And it helped get rid of some of the snow, at least around my apartment.
There's still some piles out there, and they're just nasty to look at now.
But, you know, we can hope that over the next week, the rain and the warm temperatures will help to cut them down a little bit.
Yeah, more 60s on the way for us, but unfortunately, even though we're going to be looking at some warmer temperatures ahead, we still have to deal with some fog like this morning, a dense fog advisory continuing until 10 a.m. and then another chance of more rain coming through for the second half of the week. So we want some drier weather, but unfortunately we're not going to get much of that as those 60s return to the Mid-Ohio Valley. But taking a look at this morning, once that fog does clear by around the lunchtime hour, we're going to be looking at mainly cloudy skies. We'll get temperatures up at least into those upper 40s, but then into tonight down into the 30s, and Emma Grace still looking at that chance for some more patchy fog for tomorrow morning. But I'll have more about how much rain we could be seeing heading into the second half of the week and also how warm it's going to be getting. But for now, Emma Grace, what do we have in terms of our headlines this morning?
Yeah, you know, we obviously have warmer weather here, but we're still talking about the Winter Olympics because a local athlete is just 2 wins away from bringing home a gold medal from the Winter Olympics. And according to Athens Mayor Steve Patterson, is also the first Olympian ever from the city. Gwen Phillips is a goalie with the U.S. women's hockey team currently competing at the Winter Olympics in Milan. Phillips began developing her skills at Bird Ice Arena on the campus of Ohio University in Athens. In addition to being an Olympian, Phillips plays professionally for the Ottawa Charge, the Professional Women's Hockey League. There are 14 friends and family members of Phillips currently in Italy to cheer her on at the Olympics. We spoke with her parents, Linda and Guy, on what it's like to see their daughter competing on the Olympic stage.
Well, I personally get a little nervous, butterflies in my stomach. And once that's over, for me, I'm just so happy to see her out there because that's what she loves to do. I think they should know how grateful she is to all of her supporters and also how much she loves her hometown. She talks about it all the time.
Phillips and the women's hockey team play today at 10:40 a.m. against Sweden in the playoff semifinals. We'll hear more from Phillips' parents, former coaches, and Athens Mayor Steve Patterson throughout the week.
So personally, I have been sleeping on the ice hockey games over the past several days with the Winter Olympics.
I didn't watch any this weekend, but it has been all over my TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is actually how I get 90% of my Olympics news is via TikTok.
But this week is the last full week of the Olympics, so lots more gold medals being won, and that's going to include ice hockey. So let's support Team USA for both the men and the women's team, and let's see if we can get gold for both of them.
We can hope.
But of course, I'm still going to continue to watch more curling as that continues.
I'd expect nothing less.
Which, if you have time today, look up what happened to Team Canada in men's curling on Saturday, because that was a little bit spicy.
A little scandal, if you will. Ooh, I do love a scandal.
But we'll move on to our next story, because this past Saturday was Valentine's Day, and Two Peas in a Pod Flower Shop was hard at work last week with their flower deliveries during Valentine's Day. According to the owner, Chris Kiggins, the store delivered over 1,500 roses last week alone. One of the delivery drivers, Noah I can't say that name. Hilverding, apologies for that, says for the day there isn't as big of a rush to deliver flowers since the store takes its time. Hilverding adds he loves the work he does because of the smiles he sees on people's faces.
It's kind of worth it, and you know, people sometimes are surprised when they get a delivery. You know, sometimes people are very surprised, and it's really good on the people's faces. That, you know, the smile, you know, they love the flowers, and that's what our business is about.
Keegan adds she appreciates the hard work put in by her staff to make Valentine's Day possible for their customers. And again, Noah, I'm so very sorry for butchering your last name. That is my fault.
Yeah, I will say that's probably one of the things I struggle with most as an anchor is names, because I'm always so worried I'm going to say them wrong, and then I psych myself out and say them wrong anyways.
Yeah, so sorry about that, but lots of flowers sent out, and I know that the bright side, more flowers are on the way as we get closer to spring.
It is true.
Always a lovely sign to talk about that.
I know. I have a tulip that I was supposed to plant in the fall,
and you forgot?
Did not plant it, and so it's just been sitting on my table for like a year.
I don't think it's too late.
I actually think it's from last Valentine's Day I was given the plant.
Well, with how warm it's going to be getting this week, I think it will be a good time to
Maybe I can plant
try.
it. I'll plant it outside my apartment window.
We'll ask Dave Fleming if it's not too late.
We'll shoot him a text. But let's move on to our last story, because Sunday in Elizabeth, hundreds turned out for an annual tradition that's about more than just good food. At the Elizabeth Wirt Volunteer Fire Department, Sunday's penny raffle and baked steak dinner brought the community together. The department raised money to keep its trucks running and firefighters ready. According to the fire chief, Stephen Settle, this annual tradition serves a bigger purpose.
The money today goes to help operate the fire department. It goes to help pay for the bills, the utilities, truck payments, building addition that we've currently got going on, those kinds of things.
And they worked hard to make sure everyone had a great time with that steak dinner.
I know, and it's always a good idea. You know, in the summer, there's always those ice cream socials, other things like that. So when that comes around, it's always a good idea to head out, because it really does help those volunteer fire departments.
Yeah, and I believe, memory serves, they are the only emergency service in Wirt County. So they are putting in a lot of work for an entire county that definitely they deserve the support.
Yeah, this is going to go a long way. So very glad to see how that went.
Yeah, but let's move over to our national news for this morning. A week after Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show, his stop in the Bay Area is still leaving a lasting impression. On Sunday, excitement was still buzzing at Macarena after the Spanish tapas restaurant hosted a star-studded Super Bowl after party. The owners say they received a call the Saturday before the game from a representative asking to buy out the restaurant for the night for a special guest. Details were kept tightly under wraps, with the celebrities team remaining highly secretive. It wasn't until later that the owners learned the guest of honor was none other than Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny. Staff members were kept in the dark until 15 minutes before his arrival. And to maintain privacy, employees were asked to lock their phones away in a safe as the global music sensation celebrated inside. By Sunday, the restaurant could finally share the news of hosting his exclusive Super Bowl celebration.
Still can't believe a week after they're still celebrating.
I think that's fun. I don't even know what I would do if I was like working a restaurant and there's just like a celebrity.
A random celebrity that just shows up.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do either.
I think it would depend on the celebrity of how chill I could be. Because like some celebrities, I think I could be very chill and normal, but there are some that I could not.
What would an example be?
Of who I would be chill with or who I would not be chill with?
Who you would not be chill with?
Dylan O'Brien, number one. I have been obsessed with him since I was like 13. I don't think I could be chill for Dylan O'Brien, or who else would I think about? Probably anyone from Stranger Things, I would probably not be super chill about.
Okay, that's fair. And I'm pretty sure all of us on the Daybreak crew, we would not be chill if Sabrina Carpenter showed up.
That is true. We would not be chill for Sabrina Carpenter.
That is 100% fact right there.
Yeah, that's why our group chat is called the Daybreak Carpenters, because when her new album came out, it was a group listening party.
It was, it was.
But speaking of fun things and what's trending.
Yeah, we do have some interesting trending stories to talk about this morning.
A cat celebrating 15 years on the job, and how Ring camera AI use is getting backlash, as well as Henry with your full forecast.
Yep, and we're certainly going to be talking about that chance of rain coming up this week.
Now, here's your first alert weather update with meteorologist Henry Grof.
Well, we are going to be looking at least a quiet start to the week, but we still have to contend with some fog throughout the morning commute. Again, we do have that dense fog advisory in place until 10 a.m., but once that's gone, we're going to be looking at mainly cloudy skies going into your afternoon. But high pressure will be around, so we're not going to be talking about rain today and into your Tuesday. But once we get into the second half of the week, that's when we'll see those rain chances coming back. We'll see some going into our Wednesday, but the best chance over the next several days is going to be around Thursday night, and then we can still see a bit lingering around heading into the weekend, which unfortunately is going to be coinciding with that good warm weather that we're going to get to enjoy. But for now, at least we're going to start off this week quiet. Once that fog is gone, we're still anticipating that cloudy weather to stick around. A little bit of some partial clearing, especially into tonight, but we do anticipate more patchy fog once again going throughout the day on Tuesday morning, with more patchy spots of sunshine trying to peek through that cloud cover yet again going into Tuesday afternoon. But looking ahead at Wednesday, that chance of rain will be returning. Expecting right now to see that late into the morning, but most of the activity for the afternoon, with everything out of the way, later into the evening. Then beyond that, our next low pressure system that's going to be making its way through the Great Lakes, that's going to be making its way across the country Thursday, and then towards the north into Friday. This is really going to help to pull in all of that warm air for us. So we'll look at rain coming through late Thursday night into Friday morning, and then still some precip is going to try to linger around with us going into the next upcoming weekend. So for today, just that patchy fog this morning, but your afternoon should be back into those low 50s, most into the upper 40s, then into tonight. Still looking at some more patchy fog once again as we drop down into the 30s. For tomorrow, will be nice and mild into the afternoon as we see those 60s arriving, with more on the way for the second half of the week, but of course contending with that chance of rain that's going to be around. And look at those overnight lows down into the 40s and low 50s, then into the weekend. That's when we see temperatures on that downward trend. We'll be back into the upper 40s Saturday and low 40s into Sunday. Now, time to take a look at what's trending. Okay, this is going to be a good one to start off with. We're talking about cats.
Yeah, so I am not a cat person. And it's not because I don't like cats. It's because I didn't grow up with cats. My mom and brother are both super allergic. So I just
hung out with
cats,
more dogs?
but I'm a dog person, if that makes sense. But I gotta give respect and props to this cat, because Downing Street's Chief Mouser is celebrating 15 years on the job. Larry the cat was adopted by number 10 Downing Street in 2011 after the UK government admitted to an issue with rats in the building. The 19-year-old tabby has since served under 6 prime ministers and is still fit and healthy. Larry's caretakers say despite his old age, he was seen catching mice up through last year. Look at him go.
Still on the jobs, not retiring anytime soon.
And I believe, I mean, I could be wrong, I believe Downing Street is where the Prime Minister lives,
yes.
right? Okay. I'm proud of myself.
That's where the United Kingdom Prime Minister is, and man, look at that cat just waiting at the door. Just want to be let inside.
I'm sure he is so proud
I could
of
just
himself.
sit here and just, yep, somebody lets the cat inside. I could just sit here and watch this video all day about the cat. Another great one right there, enjoying some of the sunshine that London rarely sees through the year.
I knew you'd love the cat story.
Well, let's move on to our next story because this is still animal related. So, couple weekends ago, Ring is responding after its Super Bowl commercial. Got a lot of attention of people talking. That ad showed how Ring owners can share their camera's video to help owners of lost dogs find their animals. It immediately drew concern from people worried about how else that type of AI technology might be used. Now, Amazon, which owns Ring, announced it is ending its partnership with Flock Safety. That company lets Ring owners share video with law enforcement agencies. Amazon claims it realized the integration would have cost too much time and money. Ring's dog finding function is still available. The company points out users have to grant video sharing permission each time a pet owner requests it. And I know that doorbell video right now is a big hot topic at the moment.
Yeah, I get it, an idea. I don't know how much I would really like it. I think you should just put an air tag on your dog's collar.
That is also another good idea.
Because they make dog collars that have a specific little spot for air tags
Where
now.
the air tag goes.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't have one for my dog. I should actually probably invest in that. She has a habit of
Trying to run away from you.
Well, it's more so once she gets out, she doesn't want to come back. She thinks it's a fun game to have me chase her around to try to like releash her and get her inside.
Yeah.
It's okay. She's not even a year old yet, so it's not her fault.
Just going on an adventure.
Yeah, she never goes out of sight. She just thinks it's really funny to say just outside of where I can reach her.
So when you're walking away, she's still gonna be coming back to you.
Yeah, but she'll stay like 5 feet behind or next to me, and then when I try to like lunge and grab her,
She goes somewhere
sprints.
else. Just like a magnet.
She is certainly something. But we do have some fun facts about our Daybreak Trivia question from today.
Looking forward to it.
Because we're talking about King Tut. Our question was, what archaeologist entered the burial chamber of King Tut first? And the answer is Howard Carter. Obviously, ancient Egyptians were really big into seeing their pharaohs as gods, and they carefully preserved the bodies after death. And so, backed by a very rich Brit, Lord Carnarvon. There's my struggle with names for today.
Carnarvon?
Carnarvon? Whatever. The rich guy. Carter searched for 5 years without success in the early 1922s. Then he wanted to call off the search, but Carter convinced the wealthy man to hold on for just 1 more year. In November of 1922, that wait paid off when Carter's team found steps hidden in the debris near the entrance of another tomb. Those stairs led into an ancient sealed tomb doorway bearing the name Tutankhamun. I don't think I said that right either. King Tut.
King Tut. Simple way to put it. It's just King Tut.
King Tut, but I would you do that? Would you go in a little archaeological dig?
No, I don't
I would
think
if I didn't have to go underground.
The underground portion scares me, and then also heading to Egypt. It's just so hot there.
I would do an archaeological dig if it was for like dinosaurs. If I got to sit on the ground and like do the little dusting, see if I could find dinosaur bones.
And it's above ground too.
Exactly.
So that's a good idea, but underground, no, not for me.
That and like the Paris catacombs terrify me. Have you
I've
seen
never-
videos about?
I've never seen the Paris catacombs.
I did not want to go in them when I went to Paris. I refused because it's basically just like all these skulls and stuff under the like streets of Paris. It's very scary, and I love horror stuff.
No, that's not for me either.
That, you know, there are a lot of things that I think aren't for us, Henry.
No.
But thank you all for joining us this morning on our morning brief.
That was a lot of fun. Still more lessons learned, like trying to pronounce Egyptian names.
But that's it for for right now, he's Henry Grof. I'm Emma Grace Myers, and we'll see you again at the noon.